Alright everyone, I would like us to investigate a different situation today when it has to do with subtraction of fractions. So let's say I have 1 and 1/5 minus a third. So naturally our approach will be to take care of the whole numbers and the fractions separately. So let's do that. Let's take care of the fractions first. I have a fifth and a third. Our denominators are uncommon, so we need to make them common. So let's identify common denominator between 3 and 5. We'll do a T-chart and think of their multiplication table. So we have 3, 6, 9, 12, and 15. I will stop here because I know on the multiplication table of 5, we have 10 and then 15. So there you are. We identify a common denominator, which would be 15. So let's take each fraction separately. We will take a fifth first and produce an equivalent fraction with a denominator of 15. So we will need to multiply by 3 the numerator and denominator. So I have 3 15ths. Now we'll take care of a third, and I will multiply by 5, of course, both numerator and denominator, and that gives us 5/15. So let's replace now each fraction with a new fraction that we produce. So I have 1 and 3 out of 15 minus 5 out of 15. Alright, now that we have a common denominator between the two fractions, let's see what we're going to do. We only have one whole number, which is 1 over there, and let's look at our fractions. We have 3 out of 15 minus 5 out of 15. So the challenge here is, how would we subtract 5 from 3? So a way to think about this is to see that the 1 here is 15 out of 15. It's a whole. So I'm going to take this 15 out of 15 and give it to 3 out of 15 to make it bigger. So we will be able to subtract this 5 out of 15 from there. So what does this become? This becomes 18 out of 15 minus 5 out of 15, and we have 13 out of 15, and this will be our final answer. So what did we do? We noticed that 3 was smaller than this 5 here, so in order to make it bigger, we gave it a whole. Alright, so a whole is 15 out of 15 plus the 3 out of 15. It took us here to the 18 out of 15, and I was able to subtract and do 18 minus 5, which was 13 out of 15. So let's look another situation now with subtracting fractions with unlike denominators. Let's say we have 2.5 minus 1 and 5 out of 6. So again, we will have to take care of our fractions first, and we'll need to identify a common denominator between 2 and 6. So if I think of the multiplication table between 2 and 6, I already know that 6 is a multiple of 2, so I won't need to do much. The common denominator between the two fractions is 6, so I will not need to replace the second fraction. So if I take care of a half here, I need to make it out of 6, we'll multiply by 3. Now with the new denominators, I have 2 and 3 out of 6 minus 1 and 5 out of 6. So let's take care of the fractions first and see what's going on. I have to take out 5 out of 6 from 3 out of 6. So the numerator in the first fraction is smaller than the one from here. What I'll do is that I will take a whole from this 2 here, which is 6 out of 6, right? And 2 will become 1 because I took that whole from it. And now I will give this whole to 3 out of 6. And let's see if I'm able to do my subtraction. So 6, 6 and 3, 6, that will give us 9, 6. And now what I will do, I will take care of my fractions. First, I have 9, 6 minus 5, 6, which gives me 4 out of 6. And 1 minus 1 is a 0, so I don't need to write anything else. So the answer will be 4 out of 6. Now I can take it a step further. I have 4 out of 6, and I need to simplify it. I need to think of the greatest common factor between 4 and 6, which means what is the biggest number that can divide 4 and 6, so I can simplify my fraction. That will be 2. So I will do 4 divided by 2, which is 2, and 6 divided by 2, which is 3. And there you have it. The simplified answer of our equation is 2/3.